While the Hero Rises banner creeps closer and closer, Intended Systems has thrown a massive curveball into the mix by introducing a new inheritable special. Today we'll discuss what that special is and talk about our 4 new banner units, Karin, Galzus, August, and Ascended Mareeta. We will go over everyone's stats and skills and discuss general playstyles. I know a lot of people are thinking of skipping this banner, but that is no longer such an easy decision. First up, Karin is our 4-star focus unit, and you can get her at 4-star and 5-star rarity. She will demote into the 3 to 4-star summonable pool after this banner is over. As a unit, Karin is a Lance Flyer, which is a very competitive group, especially for the low rarity ones. She makes a solid impression though, with 41 HP, 37 attack, 42 speed, 26 defense, and 31 resistance. Karin will have attack, speed, and defense super boons, which are all solid picks, and she basically matches our latest Gen 6 Lance Flyer demote, Marsha. Essentially, Karin has 1 more speed and then trades defensive stats with Marsha. They are both going to be solid demoted units. However, as a melee unit, Karin's lower base defense might be something to watch out for. For old skills, Karin has Moonbuster Special, and she comes with Attack and Defense Form 3 and Drive Attack 2. This will be the first time Attack and Defense Form is available on a 3 to 4-star unit, but Grim Zealot also has it for Heroic Grails. Attack and Defense Form isn't the only thing Karin shares with Zealot though, because her new inheritable Allied Lance Plus is basically a Lance version of Zealot's Axe. It's a 14-weight weapon that grants plus for attack and defense to allies within 2 spaces. If the user is within 2 spaces of an ally, they receive the same stat boost. So, Allied Lance Plus is a new inheritable Lance version of last year's Bridal Weapons. It is basically Joint Drive Attack and Joint Drive Defense combined together. It's a hybrid support weapon, which obviously means it's not the best for personal combat, but it can help complement some support skills like Drive Attack 2, for example. You could pass Allied Lance to our 3 Dancer Lancers. We still don't know if more Dancer refines are going to happen, so something like OG Azura wouldn't mind this weapon if you just want her to support your team. Allied Lance definitely isn't the craziest weapon, but if you want to stack in-combat buffs, then it's a fine choice. Overall, as mentioned, Karin is extremely similar to Marsha, who is the other Gen 6 Lance Flyer demote. She can easily run any of the builds we discussed for her. If you do want to use the Allied Lance with Karin's base kit, then you could maybe snag Spring Luthier's Attack and Defense Snag B skill. It's not the most common support skill, but if Karin moves an ally, she can emit debuffs and then give her allies plus 7 attack and plus 4 defense if you keep Drive Attack 2. Snag usage would also work with Karin's Form A skill, and you can snag a Sacred Seal variant on top. If you run with a flyer team, then Allied Lance can stack with things like gold or ward flyers, maybe throw in a distant or close guard Sacred Seal. If you rather take advantage of Karin's nice speed stat, then you can maybe want to grab a new weapon. Marsha's Unbound Lance, aka the Flowing Lance, is a great pick since flyers cannot run low B skills. You could combo with double solo skills, Near Trace, and a Rain C skill. Speaking of which, Hold C skills could work with the Allied Lance with their larger debuffing zone. If you want speed-focused lances, Spring Minerva and the Sprinkle Lance are back currently. Valentine's Owain's Piercing Tribute is fun as well. You could run those with Float Guard to get offensive no follow-up and add attack and speed catch. Maybe go with the defense variant if you want Karin to take more hits. Another fun A skill is Surge Sparrow, although Karin's cooldown options are not very amazing. Regardless, while the support playstyle may not be for everyone, Karin has the base stats to branch out to a more combative role. Her and Marsha will be fun merge projects if you're looking for a more modern Lance Flyer. Next up is Galzus, who is apparently Mareeta's father. He's going to be a sword infantry unit with 40 HP, 43 attack, 41 speed, 36 defense, and 22 res. Galzus is rocking a speed super boon, and 43 base attack is highest for any sword unit in the game currently. He is fast and he's going to hit hard. 36 defense is pretty solid for a sword master, although 22 res is definitely on the lower side as expected. In terms of old skills, Galzus is prime fodder material. He has Luna as his special, and then he comes with the very fun Surge Sparrow and the very meta No Follow-Up 3. Since Surge Sparrow only requires Swift Sparrow 2, it's pretty easy to get both Surge Sparrow and No Follow-Up onto a unit. Galzus is prime fodder material, although Brave Erica is also back at the moment. Galzus has a pretty badass title, the Dark Blade of Ode. Apparently this Dark Blade is the Rain Sword Plus. Like the C skills of the same name, the Rain Sword is a 14-weight inheritable sword that inflicts -5 speed and defense on foes within 2 spaces during combat. That's it. We've had a couple rain weapons now, but this is the first sword version and it's an extremely simple weapon. Technically it can support teammates, but you have to be close enough to the enemy where they are fighting. Otherwise, this just inflicts -5 speed and defense, and to be honest, it's kind of similar to the Allied Lance. One difference is the Rain Sword is literally always active for the user, while the Allied Lance needs allies to give the user buffs. This might not be the most exciting sword, but it always works, and there are not that many inheritable swords focused on speed. While Galzus has some great stats, amazing skills, and an okay weapon, he is left in an extremely awkward spot by having no unique sword. There are just too many sword master type units in the game with unique weapons, and the inheritable options just cannot keep up at all. To make things worse, Galzus does not have a lot of options if you want to use a speed focused sword. Ranged sword is probably the best option unless you use the ninja katana for brave attacks. At the very least, it works with his base kit, and the idea is very simple. Galzus initiates, and he isn't stopped by follow prevention. If he can proc a special, he's going to heal percentage max HP thanks to Surge Sparrow. If you want to proc Luna in this fashion, you're going to need Flashing or Heavy Blade. You can also use Attack and Speed or Attack and Defense Menace if you commit to this initiation playstyle. Another weapon that could work with this setup is the Armor Smasher. Use Galzus' high base attack and decent defense to smack arm units around. Guard will be an issue, but even with Flashing Blade or Time's Pulse, it's going to be hard to get around it. A third weapon option is again the Ninja Katanas. For more speed to quad and highest base attack sword unit in the game makes Galzus a nice user of the weapon. If you prefer to be more mixed phase, then you could run the ranged sword with dodge B skills and solo skills. You could use lulls too, but no follow-up is very powerful at the moment. If you rather run one of the defense focused swords like the Steadfast Sword or the Winter Rapier, you could run attack and defense unity or maybe a tier 3 dual stance with a Breath Sacred Seal. You may have noticed I have a new special, Vital Astra, listed down. Galzus can run this, but there are some important features you should know about before fully committing. I will explain more later, but it will be a great choice for him regardless. Overall, while Galzus is definitely not bad, there are just so many other insanely busted Swordmasters that his lack of a unique weapon really hurts. Just listing off the Gen 6 Swordmaster type units, we have Brave Marth, Priam, Flavia, Malice, Yanfei, and now Ascended Mareeta. They all have very nice unique weapons, including the free option Yanfei. Galzus isn't the worst 5-star without a unique weapon on a banner, but it still stings to be that unit on the banner. For our next hero, we have August, releasing a bit early it seems. He's an infantry healer with some very meaty stats. 40 HP, 40 attack, 17 speed, 32 defense, and 4th resistance. Sheesh. He ties Nime for highest base res in the game and even has an attack super boon. August is basically a second coming of Soak, but even more min-maxed. He has atrocious speed, but extremely high res, good defense, and high base attack. I know we just got Valentine's Lissa who can abuse the armor only skills, but August is making a claim for tanky infantry healers. For old skills, even if you don't like this dude, he is great healer fodder. He has Nudge Plus, which is the shove hitting assist, Fire Flood Bomb Plus, which grants attack and res buffs, and the very potent Even Recovery 3 for debuff cleansing and extra healing. Unlike our last two units, August will not go quietly into the infantry healer pool. He will immediately stand out with his Diplomacy Staff. It has 14 might with built-in Wrathful Staff, making use of his 40 base attack. At start of turn, grant plus 6 attack, defense, and res to August's support partner, and also a status which gives them a free follow-up attack when initiating. Additionally, if at least one ally is dead on your team, August's support partner also gets -2 special cooldown and a status to prevent a follow-up from the enemy. Alright, so Diplomacy Staff is very strong at the cost of needing ally support. That means you cannot run it on defense teams, but summoner duels is fair game. If you see August lounging in the back on a team, you may want to watch out. Every single turn, he gives his support partner 3 plus 6 field buffs and a free follow-up attack. That is so insanely good. I mentioned it with Legendary Lucinas Refined, but even though no follow-up is very present on a lot of units these days, it's common because free follow-up attacks can make any unit deadly. Quick Riposte is the classic example of this. Diplomacy Staff can give guys like Reinhardt a free quad if left unchecked. The free follow-up status can also allow units with follow-ups of their own to bypass Warrior Fighter skills. They're essentially stacking in a sense. Of course, no follow-up puts an end to any of this. Now, while follow-ups are great, if a unit dies on your team, Diplomacy Staff gives free cooldown to August's support partner. Important to note, it works on every single turn once it's activated, so stalling a match out can benefit August's team. There is also the follow-up prevention status for even more combat power. This staff is pretty nuts, so be careful if you see this man. Some players might even run multiple copies of the same support partner, and they'll all get the buffs. In addition to his high defense and res, August will come with defense and res bond 4. Even if you can attack him, he will get another +7 defense and res and neutralize defense and res debuffs. While it may not be the best enemy phase option with Brazen Stance 3 in the game, healers can at least run this skill. Maybe it's a fun skill to pass along to your other tanky healer projects. Overall, August is definitely a unit I would keep at least one copy of. Diplomacy Staff is very unique, and even though it requires ally support, the ability to just hand out a player-phase follow-up attack can be very powerful. It also hands out +6 attack, defense, and res field buffs, so honestly, it's a great weapon to support a defense and res ideal user. They're going to get more buffs, and if the buffs get neutralized, they have the follow-up status to proc the ideal skill anyway. Now, for August's base kit, you really don't need to change anything. He has a mailing healer passives, including even recovery and nudge plus. He can help set up an offensive move by shoving someone forward. While you could run Dazzling Staff, August is a tanky boy, so I don't think it's necessary. He's going to hit hard, but probably isn't fully KOing anyone anyway with his low speed. With 43 base res, August is prime sabotage debuff material. To make things even better, our Grand Hero Battle unit has Sabotage Attack, which is very strong with Diplomacy Staff's defense res field buffs. It's a very nice B skill if you don't have any other plans. For Secret Seals, you could run a Ploy debuff, maybe Speed Ploy would be nice. In terms of other support options, if you stack some HP, August could maybe be a Sudden Panic or even Pulse Tie user. You may need double HP boosting skills for this though. If you want to fully stack flat stats, then Fortress Defense and Res 3 or 2 is fine. Infantry Pulse could maybe work with the second portion of Diplomacy Staff. I always like to entertain the idea of Times Pulse with the bomb specials. They'll get pre-charged, and Nudge Plus doesn't charge special at all anyway. These are fun ideas, but even recovery is just exceptionally strong. Now, while Valentine's Lissa can run fun skills like Bold Fighter or Crafty Fighter, August can get a double via Quick Riposte. Since Diplomacy Staff doesn't really give him any benefits in combat, you could also run the Staff Attribute or Palm Staff for maximum tanky healer. If you just really like this guy, you could run those staffs on defense teams since Diplomacy Staff won't be active anyway. All in all, another very unique healer. I don't know how common he will be, but if you do see August, you should definitely take note of who he's giving that free follow-up attack to. Our last unit is going to be Ascended Mareeta. She is still an infantry swordmaster, but essentially rebuilt for the year 2022. For stats, Mareeta has 40 HP, 40 attack, 43 speed, 34 defense, and 25 res. If you're familiar with Brave Marth, Mareeta is pretty much right there with him in terms of stats. She will have attack and res super boons, and as a reminder, Ascended units get to pick an Ascended asset for free. I would probably still go for speed, however, attack or res would be a nice secondary. For old skills, Mareeta has attack and speed solo 4, and then copies Marth's burn 3 and even Tempest kit. Attack and speed stacking with a dodge B skill, pretty standard stuff. For her unique sword, Mareeta has the Ascending Blade, 16 might, specials, and grants an instant -1 cooldown on turn 1. At start of combat, if Mareeta has more than 25% HP, she gets +5 to all stats, no follow-up 3, and after combat she gets -1 special cooldown again. So basically, Ascending Blade is a better version of OG Mareeta's sword. They both come with accelerated specials, a general stat boost, and no follow-up. This time, Mareeta does not need to be solo, and she gets -1 cooldown on turn 1, and after every single fight, similar to Special Spiral, minus the special proc condition. This is a great weapon considering Mareeta's special. So, a lot of people, including me, thought Vital Astra was going to be another unique Ragnar Astra type deal. Since Ira's introduction, people have been clamoring for a speed-based special, and while other units have gotten their own unique versions, the day has finally come for an inheritable Ragnar Astra type special. It's a 2-column special, and it boosts damage by 30% of unit speed. We'll stop right there because really that's good enough for Vital Astra to instantly become a high priority special to fodder. It's not Ragnar Astra's 40% speed boost, but for a 2-column special, it's still pretty strong. If you hit 50 speed, that's 15 damage. You hit 60 speed, that's 18 damage. Now, before we go crazy, you must know that Vital Astra is only inheritable by sword, lance, and axe infantry units. You just need basic Astra as a prereq. Basically, if you can run the dodge B skills, you can run Vital Astra. Sorry ranged units, dragons, beast, armors, cows, and flyers. Now let's talk about the second part of this special. If Vital Astra is charged at the start of combat, you get dodge damage reduction. It's only 30% max, but it's the same as the standard B skill, where you must outspeed by 10 or more for the full effect. Now, this is not that crazy considering Deadeye and Lethality have damage effects plus damage reduction nullification. Vital Astra is just doing the same for actual damage reduction. Now, big keyword, if special is ready. Like I said, just being a speed-based 500 SP special is already enough to make Vital Astra top tier bait, But to get the dodge effect, it must be pre-charged when you enter combat. Ascended Mareeta does this via her weapon. It will be on 1 cooldown permanently, and she gets -1 cooldown on turn 1. After every single fight, Mareeta gets -1 cooldown again, thus recharging Vital Astra for the next battle. With her Spd-based skill, you can stack the damage reduction at full power for 58% damage reduced. Now, there is for sure lots of conversation to be had on who else can run Vital Astra the best. For the third time, I'm going to repeat, not even considering the dodge portion of the skill, it will be in high demand as our only speed-based special that's inheritable. I want to address one dude real quick, Yanfei. He has dodge on his sword. You could run Spurn or whatever for a second dodge B skill, and then Vital Astra for triple dodge stacking. Now, the issue is that Yanfei cannot pre-charge nor recharge Vital Astra like Mareeta. Realistically, you're going to need extra setup. If you want to stack dodge effects, you have to consider how your unit is going to consistently have Vital Astra up after every single engagement. Overall, Ascended Mareeta is definitely another fun and scary swordmaster, plus she has a very nice weapon. She is tailor-made to run Vital Astra, but that's not going to stop people from throwing it on their speedy units. Basically, Mareeta always has Vital Astra ready unless something like Pulse Smoke or Witchy Wand gets involved. She should be stacking 2 dodge effects, so definitely you want all the speed you can get. Double attack and speed solo is fine with Spurn and even Tempest. As another accelerated special, regular Astra type user, Mareeta can pull off the super player phase double Astra proc. Ascending Blade basically gives times pulse, so her first hit is going to proc Vital Astra. If she takes a counterattack, she's going to get the 1 cooldown to recharge the special, and she has no follow-up for her to ensure her second Vital Astra proc goes off again. Not to mention, Mareeta gets the extra dodge effect, and Vital Astra is ready to go for the enemy phase if need be. You can throw in Surge Sparrow to get 2 healing procs, and Spurn adds a little bit of extra damage as well. If you're feeling a Brave Mart type vibe, then Mareeta can pull off the distant counter plus dodge builds. Great mixed phase fun, although you're going to lose out on a speed boosting skill unless you run distant pressure. I do want to comment on non-Vital Astra specials. For Gale Force, Mareeta will have it on 4 cooldown. On turn 1 it's going to become 3 cooldown. Similar to Brave Celica's Refined, since she gets -1 cooldown after every single fight, you just need to end the battle with Gale Force on 1 cooldown. If you can do that, Ascending Blade kicks in, Gale Force is going to proc afterwards. You could run Flashing Blade to counteract guard, and if Mareeta hits twice, she should get Gale Force to that 1 cooldown, then the -1 after combat. Maybe you can use this with Wings of Mercy. Now, what about a special like Aether? Is it worth using? Again, Mareeta would start with 3 cooldown Aether, and it would stay at least 3 cooldown after every fight. Maybe add Special Sparrow to get that to -1 cooldown. Although, I don't know if that's necessary. It could be fun, but the double dodge effects are nice, and again, Vital Astra is just going to be up almost every single attack. Regardless of what you do, Ascended Mareeta should be just fine. She's basically a 2022 version of her OG self. She has quick specials, dodge damage reduction, no follow-up, and while Vital Astra isn't unique to Mareeta, she is one of the best to make the most of its damage reduction capabilities. Maybe not super groundbreaking, but certainly a solid swordmaster for the modern age. Well, this banner should and will catch the eye of many thanks to Vital Astra being inheritable. Personally, I want to blow my orbs on the Hero Rises banner and test that 4 green RNG fest, but it's impossible to deny that Vital Astra makes this banner a standout. I am thinking of doing a non-formal discussion about who would be great with Vital Astra, although really any super fast unit wouldn't mind using it just for the speed-based damage perk. Let me know if any unit stands out to you as a really good Vital Astra abuser. Now, for those resisting the temptation to summon, our next Grand Hero battle unit is Salem. He's a red infantry dark mage, which has not historically been the best sign, but we'll talk about what he has to offer in the next video. Thank you for watching, and let me know if Vital Astra is vital to your summoning needs. Just how good is that bait? See you soon.